My beloved child, the one who comes to you is not a rival to the sacred calling that I have placed in your heart, but the guardian and cultivator of that seed of faith whenever you feel yourself faltering. They will not appear with empty words or hollow promises, but through sweet, nourishing fruits, a timely word of encouragement spoken without fanfare, a selfless act of sharing a look of understanding when you suffer or doubt. When you feel emotionally drained and your mind races with daily concerns, your soul will hear again the music of peace that I have woven just for you. That is why I must clear away the old ties so that you do not look back on the past, compare new gifts to worn-out shells, or question the faithfulness of the one who waits for you to open the door to something new. I know that only when old shadows have faded into oblivion will your heart have room to blossom. I not only remove the bonds that hold you, but also prepare the night sky for the flame of hope to burn bright and ready the dawn for dreams you have not dared to kindle. When this one arrives, you will feel a lightness in your spirit, as if you have touched an endless source of life, as though the raindrops of your prayers through the long night have finally found the soil in which to grow. They will bring you the key to open the door to your spiritual journey, so that you will not go astray in the labyrinth of doubt. They will hand you the key of practical love, helping you to recognize the value of every honest relationship, and even the keys for everyday life lessons in patience, gratitude, and how to build peace within your own home. You will enter this encounter with empty hands, yet your soul will be filled with the promises I whispered long ago. I do not ask you to cling to the past, nor demand that you deny the pain etched into your heart. Instead, I invite you to let go, to cast off your burdens, so you may receive grace. I have sent this one to remind you that even if fierce storms knock you down and the darkest night engulfs you, there is still a supporting hand, still words of comfort and strength flowing from my love. You will come to understand that the greatest joy is not conquering challenges, but being upheld when weary, understood, when alone and entrusted with the keys that open every door of hope. Open your spiritual eyes, my beloved child, and receive the heavenly gift destined for you, for I will never let you walk alone, and my grace is always sufficient to replace all the old ways of the world. When this one appears, even if your body remains weary, your soul will rejoice and sing at the feast of promise, and you will walk with confidence on the new path that I have laid before you. My beloved child, I want you to know that the light of truth is coming to you through ordinary signs, imbued with supernatural power, an unexpected conversation, a message revealed precisely when you least expect it, or simply a word slipped out by someone around you. When these pieces fall into place, do not insist on further confirmation, for your soul has already felt the whisper in your heart, that is, the spirit of mind dancing within absolute knowing. Do not call it coincidence, nor invoke loyalty as an excuse. I am answering each silent prayer of yours, every tear you shed in solitary darkness without a witness. Now, as the light of truth sprouts within your soul, prepare yourself for the new journey with open hands and a peaceful heart. First, create space in your mind, not by freezing it over, but through intentional release. Like a sacred garden, every plot of your heart must be tilled loose, free from the weeds of doubt and the stones of painful memories. I do not ask you to don an iron armor, but to clothe yourself in the pure robe of love and gentleness. You will bond with me not through fear or rigid rules, but through the purity that springs from a heart refined by trial and prayer. When those from your past step away from your journey, do not rush to chase or persuade them to stay. Instead, remain silent, silent as a blossom at dawn, silent as the sunrise shimmering on a still lake. Such silence is proof of the kindness I have taught you, the act of a soul that has realized everyone has their own path to walk. Understand that every emptiness I leave in your life is holy space prepared for grace to pour down. I have taught you that any relationship that has fulfilled its mission must be gathered home by me, so that you are not trapped in a cage of memories, nor lost between horizons of tomorrow. Do not let loyalty become a thorn blocking your way, nor let old wounds obscure the new light that is germinating. Keep your heart as a clear mirror, ever ready to reflect my image, never the shadows of the past. And when he, the benefactor, sent from the heights, steps forward, you will recognize him at first glance by the sincerity, shining not in flashy words but in the good fruit. He bears a timely act of sharing a prayer lifted when you are bewildered, a gentle presence that feels your deepest sorrow. He will give you splendid keys, the key of spiritual insight to unlock the mysteries of mind, the key of true love, to build selfless relationships, and even the practical keys for each step of your daily life. You will enter that meeting with your soul as pure as blank parchment, ready to write there the story of redemption and communion. I do not require you to lose yourself in service, but encourage you to offer the very essence of yourself with every scar and every longing to bring pure love into the world. I have prepared this one so that he will not compete with your sacred calling, but to support and nurture it. My child, you will one day look back and marvel at the wisdom with which I have cleared away old bonds and placed new supports upon your path. I am calling you to rise up, not by your own strength, but by the power that flows from my boundless love. Do not fear when what is old drifts away, or when the new makes its entrance, for every change unfolds within my protective embrace. Trust that I will never let you walk alone through the night, and that my grace is always abundant, like a summer rain, refreshing your soul whenever doubt has left it parched. Finally, receive all that I freely give you with a heart brimming with gratitude for the guiding light, for the silent notes of encouragement, for every conversation that has opened the eyes of your spirit, and be thankful for the inner spirit unders, clearing I have made in your mind so that you may fully welcome new blessings. When you reflect on this journey, you will recognize that every step, even the hardest, was a finger pointing the way, leading you toward wholeness, holiness, and reunion in my eternal love. This is the uplifting message I send to you. Though all around us changes, I remain unchanging, and in my hands, every new beginning is a promise of joy and hope. My beloved child, when familiar faces withdraw from your life, you will hear a strange silence descend like a heavy curtain, a vast emptiness that once echoed laughter and bore the footprints of those you held dear. But I want you to embrace that stillness with a generous and open heart so that I may fill it directly with my whispered words. Do not rush to piece together new fragments in place of the old cords that I have gently untied. Only when you pause and sit with me in silence, walking with me along paths of peace, will you hear the true heartbeat of the infinite love I have for you. I will unfold before you fresh instructions like a gentle dawn breaking through the gateway of your soul, entrusting you with sacred tasks marked by my grace, and revealing doors that await your passage, thresholds that require wholehearted courage and unwavering faith to cross. If you continue to cling to the shadows of those who have departed, governed by the images of your past, you will have neither the space nor the strength to receive the new gifts I long to bestow. Your soul will grow cramped, and the gateway of my love will be pressed shut by concerns that no longer belong. I am the Lord God who perceives the end from the very beginning. Nothing escapes my sight, and when I forewarn you of departures, it is not punishment, but a complete gift of mercy, not to destroy you, but to ready you for a new chapter full of promise. I do not cast you onto a chessboard of suffering, but place you in my caring hand, so that you may be preserved and equipped, secure, as you step through trials into a new realm of faith. Know that even in your loneliest moment, when only the echo of your own heartbeat remains, I draw near to fill you with the warmth of my word and the light of undying hope. Let your spirit blossom like a flower, greeting the sunrise, that the dew of your silent prayers may become fresh strength each day. I invite you to sit with me on the still rock, to listen to the flowing of my grace, to witness the dawn of your destiny rising, and to breathe in the pure air of my heavenly presence. As I clear away the figures no longer fitting, release them without bitterness or blame, retaining only mercy, so that the candle of love within your life may continue to burn bright. When I issue the call to depart, do not be startled or confused, for I have seen it all long ago, and every piece removed is meant to reshape the portrait of your life into something more beautiful. You are not abandoned, rather you are cherished by me, prepared to step through doors that only a renewed soul can open. Expand your heart, let the shattered worries of old drift away in the river of grace, and trust that I, who hold the destinies of all, await you with everlasting love. Then when that new door swings wide, you will walk through with firm faith, your footsteps tapping out a path of light for I have formed you not to stumble but to shine in the world as living proof of my power and unending compassion. My child, the enemy whispers a single hidden scheme to make you believe each word I speak is disaster, so that anxiety may obscure the light of faith and confusion, choke your desire to follow my holy call. But today I speak to lift all that darkness, to draw you out from lies cloaked in mist, and to place you in the peaceful refuge of knowing me. When you hear my voice resonating, when you sense a subtle stirring in your soul, when you feel an unseen tug prompting you to pause and listen, it is because I am preparing you for a grander stage, a nobler journey that my judgment has ordained from the beginning, and my guidance has prepared since time's first dawn. I never issue a warning without having already laid the path for you to overcome, nor leave you alone before a trial without having raised my saving hand. Allow yourself to contemplate how I have dealt with those who went before, shining examples of love and mercy. I gave Abraham the promise, no matter how long the corridor of time might stretch, and granted him in his old age the strength to pray and believe in what was yet to come. I led the people of Israel through a barren wilderness, feeding them manna and quail, offering them the cup of living water amid the storm, so that they would understand each step was sustained, not by their own striving, but by my boundless love. And I called Noah a righteous man in a corrupt world, foretelling the great flood soon to descend upon creation, instructing him down to each measurement of the ark, giving him time to build faith, not to punish the world, but to preserve a new lineage. Though all around him mocked and lived in debauchery, I persisted in my invitation, and today you are being called by the same heart. My child, in the warnings I speak, do not perceive the sentence of destruction, but the overture of a symphony of hope, the spark that awakens readiness within your soul. For when the enemy seeks to lead you astray into a tempest of confusion, I desire that you stand firm like the cedar and cypress, your roots sunk deep in love, unshaken by the fiercest gale. When a message is revealed, when a conversation suddenly awakens clarity, or even a single utterance unveils a fragment of the sacred story, do not allow your mind to sink into pointless questions. Do not demand further signs, for my spirit already dances within your heart, singing the song of recognition, and every word is an undying testament to my love. Begin this new journey by creating space in your mind. Cast off the chaotic thoughts that are not from me, so that the lamps of hope may burn brightly and the seeds of goodness may sprout. You need not sweep away painful memories with a cold hand. Simply behold them with clear eyes, then set them adrift on the river of grace I have opened. Guard your heart not to seal yourself off from the world, but to find holy unity with me, so that when trials press in, you walk not in fear, but in the freedom of a purified soul. When they depart from you, you will feel a strange silence, an emptiness where laughter once echoed, where familiar eyes once shone. Yet do not rush to fill those voids with anything new. Do not hastily replace old faces with others, for I wish to fill that space with my word, with my presence, so that you may hear each heartbeat of my boundless love. Sit with me, walk with me, listen to me, for it is in that silence that I will unveil new directions, entrust you with lofty missions no one has yet undertaken, and reveal the door that only when you have enough room and strength you may pass through without faltering. You were not destined for destruction, but for preservation. I am the Lord God who saw the end from the beginning. Nothing escapes my gaze, no event surprises me. Every word I speak is grace, not punishment. Every warning is love, not a sentence of death. Trust that I will never let you fall into the abyss without first laying a bridge, that I never declare my will without opening a way out. Receive this message as a covenant when the storm descends, when darkness gathers. I have sent you a signal so you may find your way back. When the old departs, I desire to step into the void with you to build something new, holier, far beyond all earthly limits. Do not let fear or confusion steal your time of preparation. Allow me to guide each step so your faith stands unwavering, so my love overflows and renews your soul. My child, as days and months pass, you will look back and recognize that every word I spoke was true, that every warning was a gift of love, that I have prepared the path and stand ready to lead you through any challenge. Walk firmly in faith, for I do not leave you alone, and my grace is sufficient to fill every void and shine brightly in any circumstance. I speak so that you may live in the light, not in darkness, so that you know my heart beats in unison with yours, and this journey of life, though rugged, still leads you home. My beloved child, I have seen from afar the fierce storms roaring on the horizon of your life, and I have sent the first winds to announce the coming tempest, not to cast you down in the battlefield of trial, but to awaken you from your comfortable slumber, that the roots of your faith may grow firmer in me before the tumult begins. Even before the thunderclouds of anger assemble, I have whispered to you through that inner stirring. A silent plea echoes within your heart like a hushed symphony heralding the storm's power. At times I have sent you vague visions in your dreams, causing you to start awake in the darkness as you feel an electric tremor coursing through the veins of your spirit. At others, my words have slipped through the lips of a loved one in an ordinary conversation, yet carried a weight beyond all earthly speech, startling you into recognition of my preparation. Do not think it mere coincidence or the fancy of your mind. I have placed there my subtle messenger, the Holy Spirit of the Father, to guide your way, so you will not stumble at life's crossroads, but discern the voice of love from the schemes of the enemy. My beloved child, I never toy with your destiny. I do not cast the weight of responsibility upon your tender soul and then abandon you alone before the fury of the storm. On the contrary, I stand ready to spread wide my arms and prepare the path so that you may pass through each upheaval undefeated. When I forewarn you, it is an act of mercy, not punishment. It is careful tending, not cold rejection. Tell me, have I ever let one whom I love fall into the abyss of despair without first building for them a bridge of hope? Remember the shore of the Sea of Galilee when the boats of the disciples pitched in the tempest, was it not I who walked upon the waters to them and spoke? Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid. My presence then did more than still the winds. It kindled faith within their hearts. And today I come to you not merely to quell the storm with distant power, but to give you the sail of hope, so that you might harness the wind and be driven onward. Consider the testimonies I have nurtured Noah amid a world gone astray, whom I alerted to the flood that would sweep the earth. Abraham in his old age, to whom I promised a son when all human hope had faded. Moses in the barren desert, whom I led through a sea that split and a torrent that rose. David in the cave of bullets and fire, whom I raised up to be king of Israel. None of these ever stood abandoned before the gale, for I granted them my warning, the prepared way, and the helping hand precisely when they needed it most. Beloved child, I do not merely remind you with words. I fashion every condition that you might stand firm. I erect the rocky platform of trial, yet strewn with comforting pebbles. I plant seeds of hope in the depths of your heart, so that when the tempest arrives, you will still discern the green shoot rising from the ashes. Today, as the storm is forming, let your mind unfold like a sail to the breeze. Do not contract into the shell of fear. I encourage you to recognize every sign I send, whether a whispered breeze or an uncanny echo, because these are the keys by which you understand that you are not alone. Sometimes, my warning does not come as a thunderous voice, but hides in moments of stillness, so that when you truly listen, your heart will stir with faith and respond in prayer addressed to none but me. Record within your soul every dewdrop of supplication, every star of hope, so that in the midst of the storm you may lift your gaze and behold my light rather than the darkness of trial. I do not wish you to walk empty-handed. I desire that you grasp the wisdom I have bestowed through each small trial you have already overcome. Embrace the love you have shared with others, and seize the patience that has blossomed in your spirit through the storms that have passed. Whenever I speak to prepare you, I place within your grasp 3 keys at once: awareness of the coming tempest, so you will not be taken by surprise; the path through it, so you will not lose your way; and the sustaining hand, so you will not fall. Know that the raw material for your inner strength is not the scheming of this world, but the boundless grace of my love flowing in the very breath of your life. Beloved child, you may confront the darkest days, moments that seem to threaten your very undoing, but do not tremble. for I have seen the end from the moment the seed was even cast. I have chosen father and child together to walk through the darkness so as to lay the foundation for eternal light. Stand firm like a wave rebounding against the gale, and lift your hands to the heavens to receive my favor rather than curling into the shell of dread. Remember this: the enemy wishes you to mistake my warning for catastrophe, to turn away from my word and drown in anxiety. But today I speak so that you may discern clearly to see that Armageddon is in fact a feast of love, if you but know how to invite it. Therefore step courageously into the storm, but never alone. Take hold of my hand, listen to every breath of me within your heart, and every gust I dispatch. You will see me standing in the midst of the whirlwind, my gaze bright with reassurance, and hear my voice resound. My child, this is but a trial, not the end of all things. Cling to me, and I will lead you through the tempest safely to the far shore where myriad glories await. When you look back upon the journey, you will recognize that every stirring wind, every gentle warning, and every harsh trial belong to my loving plan. A plan to deepen your faith, to forge your perseverance, and to draw you closer to me in the unbreakable unity of enduring love. And so in the heart of the storm you will not only survive but shine forth like a brilliant star in the night sky, bearing witness to my power and unfailing faithfulness. My beloved child, your Father wants you to understand clearly that each warning I give you is not a harbinger of disaster but proof of my undying love and the deep companionship between me and you along the journey of life. Only while I still entrust my confidence to your steps do I whisper reminders of the trials to come. I reserve no warning for those who have drifted from me, but I gently call out in the hearts of those I nourish, those who carry within them the purpose known fully only to me. Look back over the path you have traveled and recognize that every time your soul trembled in an unfamiliar way, every time a portent appeared in the flicker of a dream, every unguarded word that carried the weight of heaven, those were my gifts of a spare map so that you would not lose your way at the crossroads of doubt and fear. I do not decree warnings to punish you. I do not foretell to sow anxiety. Rather, I grant you opportunity to pause, behold, and prepare your spirit for the bends of destiny. Sometimes I whisper in the cool breeze to root your faith more deeply in the anchor of my love before life's storms descend. Sometimes I send you empathy through a friend or family member so that timely encouragement finds you at the point of exhaustion. And often I speak in a quiet melody in your heart, awakening you in the stillness of night. All these signs are never random, for I never toy with your destiny. I have marshaled every heavenly force to prepare for you a safe path from the wisdom born of past experiences to the lessons surrounding you now and the graces I will bestow in days yet to come. When I warn you, it is to deepen your understanding that your mission remains unfinished and that you must venture further in boldness. At times, my warning will fall like gentle mist to soothe the parched soul so that you may feel my tender love refreshing a dry land. And at other times it will surge like a mighty wave, urging you to rise from the mire of fear and cling to faith as a towering oak amid the tempest. Yet none of these warnings ever herald the end. Each is an invitation to draw closer into intimacy with me. Do you hear that call? It is not a knock from without, but the monologue of heaven echoing within your heart, a sound unmistakable, stronger than the clamor of the world. Do not hesitate to lay bare all your fears before me, for in my love you find the safety to surrender and the courage to embrace new challenges. Consider the examples I have guided before you: Abraham in the vast wilderness, Noah in a world undone, Moses before the Red Sea. All were forewarned of their destiny, so that they would not falter when the day of trial arrived. And you, bearing the unique mission I have placed in your heart, are being led step by step from the first gentle warnings to the moment you discern the new way I have already opened for you. Keep your heart ever turned toward me. Let not the cares of this world obscure the guiding light, nor allow doubt to extinguish the flame of faith I have kindled. Though the storm may rage fierce, you remain nestled in my loving hand, and when the sky is most overcast, you will see the star of hope shining by, my promise. Thus shall you not only endure each trial, but grow in strength and humility until from the depths of your soul you can offer praise and thanksgiving to your Father, who neither lets you wander lost in the maze of doubt nor ceases to warn, guide, and embrace you in boundless love until you step through the glorious gates prepared for you. Trust that every warning is but the overture to a new chapter, a song of hope and intimacy, where father and child together write the tale of faith's triumph. My beloved child, you have sensed it already, haven't you? The very air around you suddenly swells with strange melodies, causing your heart to stir and refuse its former rest. The relationships you once deemed unbreakable now reveal faint fissures like fine threads under strain. The habits and well-worn paths of thought and action you relied upon no longer bring you full joy or abiding satisfaction. You have knocked upon the doors of opportunity that seem to promise new horizons, only to find them steadfastly closed. No matter how loudly you rap, all that answers is silence. Do not rush into despair, for this is not a sign of irrevocable rejection, but the Father's way of preparing you for something far greater, a new journey that demands your wakefulness and readiness to receive. When that sacred unease lightly brushes your soul, it is not the summons of an adversary, but the gentle voice of your Father from on high, like a breeze that stirs the canopy of leaves, prompting you to shiver and attend to the transformation within. When you lie restless through the deep watches of the night, hearing each beat of your heart as though it were an alarm, or you awaken startled by a dream bearing images you have never known, it is your Father softly placing his hand upon your shoulder, pausing you amid life's clamorous current, so that you may turn and behold the path he has laid before you. Often he requires no grand declaration. A familiar glance, a passing word from a friend, or the sudden echo of a sacred hymn in your heart is enough for him to say, "Wake up, prepare yourself, for the season of the new is at hand." Remember the changing seasons in the forest of your life. When autumn yields to winter, the old leaves fall away to make room for new buds. When storms descend, the branches stand firmer because their roots have grown deeper into the soil. When the sun climbs high, sap surges through the trunk and lifts the young shoots to dance in the warm breeze. Each season demands that something be shed in order to prepare for a brighter chapter. So it is with you. There are bonds you must release, not because they are evil or unworthy, but because their season in your soul has passed and they have become narrow seats hindering your flight of faith toward the heavens. There will be habits you once embraced as secrets to success or safe patterns that suddenly turn into heavy chains restricting your steps. From this moment on, resolve to cut them away, not with cold disregard, but with the clarity of light. Discern the actions and thoughts that no longer serve your sacred life, so that you may walk freely into a new rhythm where each tomorrow's habit is founded upon faith and love for your Father. When the next season arrives, those old patterns will weigh you down, leaving you weary along life's road. But if you relinquish them in time, you will welcome fresh practices, the perseverance of prayer, the joy of service, the gratitude that greets each dawn, so that your soul may blossom afresh beneath the sunrise. Do not hesitate when your spirit quickens in strange delight, for that is the Father's Spirit rejoicing in revelation. Do not doubt when a warning comes in its gentlest form, like a sudden flash that reveals the horizon beyond. Your Father does not wield the rod to jar you awake, but extends the pure streams of his love as an invitation to rise and draw ever closer to him. Every word of instruction, whether veiled or clear, carries his longing to guide you toward a glorious future, rather than pronounce a verdict of failure. Listen now, my beloved child. When one door closes, another will swing open before you, but only if you have the courage to release your grip and let your heart stand unguarded. It may be the call to enter a sacred work, a new duty of service, or an unexpected harmony between you and other souls who hunger for truth. Your Father has already prepared the stage for you, adorned with the radiant curtain of his grace and roles of redemptive purpose. You will assume the leading part in your life's story, unbound by the old roles you have outgrown, stepping instead into a higher calling that shines your faith and hope forth as a beacon for wandering hearts. Do not let worn-out images blur your vision. Do not allow memories of closed doors to sow hesitation at the threshold of the new. Let your Father erase the traces of cold connections and inscribe fresh words of hope upon the pages of your life. Let your heart become a mirror, reflecting His love and power, so that all who gaze upon you may see the radiant light of truth and find peace for their wandering souls. Beloved child, know that I do not abandon you at life's crossroads, nor allow you to wander lost in the black of night. In my eternal wisdom, I arrange every detail, from the subtle warnings whispered in your spirit to the silent pauses laden with emotion, to the hand I place upon your shoulder, turning you ever toward glory. Trust that when I lift high the lamp to illuminate your path, you will see a way overflowing with grace, and when I speak to you in the hush, it is my heart beating in unison with yours. And then when you look back upon the journey from the hollow spaces left by relationships that have let go from the moment you awakened in the dead of night to your first step across the new threshold, you will recognize that it was all held within my caring hand, the same hand that did not hesitate to remove expired bonds so as to make room for miracles, for new beginnings. In that moment, you will know you stand precisely where you ought on the road I charted from the first dawn of creation. Your soul will rise in song, Father. Thank you for not letting me drift, for not letting me miss a beat, and for stripping away the old to build the new, a life filled with enduring hope and love. Walk on, beloved child. Stand firm in faith. Step boldly in the light I have given, and welcome this season of renewal with an open heart, so that each footfall imprints a mark of grace, and each word you speak becomes praise to me, the one who guides without ceasing, who warns in love, and who never stops loving His children. Beloved child, I invite you to gaze honestly upon the hidden truths within your own soul, those fragile limits that cause you to stumble, the repeating patterns that trap you in weary cycles, even the blind spots in your spiritual sight that keep you from my radiance. I do not judge you for these flaws, but call you to face them and be set free, for the place I intend to bring you is too sacred to be ensnared by self-deception. What wonders are unfolding as I grant you the priceless gift of time, not as idle delay, but as a gracious pause for you to realign your heart, to forgive yourself and those who have hurt you, to shake off the bitterness that once lodged in every breath, to gather the strength I have quietly stored in every trial you have endured. This time is also for you to sharpen your inner vision, so that you no longer perceive life and others behind a veil of falsehood, but behold, all through eyes washed in my word, your mind made clear to see what truly matters. I do not force you to hurry through this sacred threshold. Rash steps lead only to stumbles. Rather, I give you each moment as a firm stone upon which to build an unshakable faith, so that when the door at last swings open, you pass through with unwavering feet, an untroubled heart, and a vision unclouded by fleeting emotion. Feel the blessing of time as each day passes, and you will discover that no one supports you with more patient love than I do. You will find that in the waiting, your hope shines like the first lantern of dawn. When you use this time to forgive, you become a bearer of peace to the world. When you use it to shed bitterness, you bear witness to my power to turn ashes into glory. When you use it to gather strength, you will marvel at the treasure of patience and mercy I have hidden within you. And when you use it to seek me, you will learn that every answer I give is no hollow phrase, but the breath of the Holy Spirit, a flame of truth igniting your soul. Beloved child, you are not waiting in vain, but being finely honed by every moment that passes, so that when the season turns, you are no longer marked by old wounds, but renewed by grace, ready to rise in faith. See how the silken threads of time that I weave enfold you, embrace you, and guide you through darkness and uncertainty into the dawn of conviction. Continue to wield this time as a tempered sword, cutting away doubt and every chain that causes you to falter, so that you may clearly see the path I have laid before you, the way of holiness, of unwavering faith, and of unconditional love. When you look back on this journey, you will burst forth in praise to the Father who would not let you stand still, who would not allow old shadows to obscure the light of your future, but who granted you time to prepare to grow and to believe that every passing day is a step closer to my heart, where eternal joy and undying hope await all my children. My beloved child, I know that sometimes I will leave you alone in silence, placed into isolation like a solitary island in the vast ocean. But do not mistake this for punishment, for this loneliness is not meant to harm you, but to realign your soul, just as a sculptor painstakingly refines his masterpiece detail by detail. I understand that only in absolute quiet, when all the clamorous noises of the world have died away, will you have the opportunity to still your heart and hear the very pulse of my love. It is in those days that I will shelter you in a pristine grotto where I pour the oil of grace over your life, so that every wound may be healed, every knot untied, and every hidden corner of your spirit illuminated. I lead you into the wilderness, an open expanse lacking food and water, but it is precisely this setting that reminds you that you live not by daily bread alone, but by every word I speak. And between the barren desert and the verdant meadow, you will learn the true worth of each tear and every breath of peace, and you will discover how to trust in me when your body grows faint and your mind falters. In that isolation, every jarring sound of the world, the din of the city, the burdens of worry, the clamorous news bulletins, even the glittering lights of temptation falls away, leaving only a crystalline void for my voice to ring in your mind. A sound purer than any melody, more comforting than every word of encouragement, stronger than any painkiller. You will sense my presence not through any visual effect, but through every profound stirring within your heart, the gentle warmth weaving through your chest, the cool shaft of light piercing the darkest recesses of your soul, the breeze of freedom sweeping away every trace of fear. I do not punish you with solitude. Rather, I cloak you in this sacred isolation to shield you from influences not of mine, the whispers of lies, the grip of toxic relationships, the cutting remarks that erode your confidence, or the invisible expectations of the world that would draw you away from the holy purpose I have set before you. And when I place you in what seems the most desolate wilderness, I draw near, as your faithful companion, offering you the pure manna of the Holy Spirit and the living waters that flow unceasingly from my heart. Child, know that the warning your Father gives you, whether vague or explicit, is one of the most exalted forms of love. When I remind you, hold fast to your faith, guard your heart, separate yourself from what is not of me, I am loving you in the deepest way I understand, so that you will not lose your way amid temptations and trials. I warn you because I care for your future and desire for you to walk in the light rather than in darkness. I warn you because I am always near you, even when you do not perceive my presence. I warn you so that you have the chance to adjust your course and will not look back in fear and regret at the path you have traveled. Receive the wilderness of isolation, O beloved child, for it is the crucible in which your soul is refined. Remember that I have not abandoned you into nothingness, but guard you against malign entanglements. Understand that every warning I send forth is the echo of boundless love, a gentle song that calls you back into my arms. I believe that in your solitude, you are not alone, for I sit beside you holding your hand as you cross the desert of trials. And when you emerge, you shall bear within your heart the wisdom, peace, and perfect love I have bestowed, so that from that place of isolation you will soar aloft, bringing the light of faith into every dark corner of the world. O beloved child of mine, I am preparing for you a transformation beyond all ordinary measure, greater influence that you may become a lamp to guide wandering souls, deeper relationships that every bond between you and your brethren may be woven not merely with human affection, but with holy communion. Keener discernment that you may not be ensnared by the sweetness of false promises, nor lost at the crossroads of temptation and higher spiritual power. That every prayer you utter may awaken the good seed within hearts and unlock doors long shackled. Yet know that with such lavish gifts comes a firm demand separation, so that you are not swept away by the world's whirlpool and lose your holy direction. Solitude, so that you have the sacred quiet in which I may speak and my spirit may illuminate, and wisdom, so that when you stand before great trials, you are not confounded, but know to use the light of faith as your guiding torch. If you will listen, you will learn to walk against the fiercest wind without faltering, to stand upon the rock of truth while others shrink in fear, and to discover that every word I whisper in stillness is a map through the barren wilderness of doubt. If you obey, you will set your feet upon the stormy waters, waters that have drowned countless weak souls, and you will glide across those waves unscathed. When your brothers tremble before the raging storm or shrink back before the forked paths of uncertainty, you will stride forward with a heart of peace, and the power I have given you will cause those same waters to part, even as I once cleft the Red Sea, so that my people might pass through. If you trust, you will see my hand in every smallest detail of your life, opening pathways your physical eyes have never seen, leading you through doors of wonder that you once only dreamed of entering. But for these things to become reality, you must dare to forsake the clamorous distractions of the world, forsake the loud words that bring no sacred value, forsake relationships that merely soothe but do not build, and forsake old habits that leave you lazy in prayer and weary in affirming your purpose. You must find for yourself a place of separation, a small quiet corner amid the tumult, so that you may know me more deeply with every breath, so that you may hear me more clearly in every whisper of the Spirit. In that solitude, wisdom will sprout within your heart like a mustard seed in fertile soil, and your vision will expand to behold even the hidden gifts concealed within trials that once seemed destructive. Let me sharpen your discernment through the book of my words. As you devote time to meditate on the living word, you will discern which truths are worthy of building upon and which illusions are unworthy. Through every line of prayer, you will develop the ability to hear my voice amid the world's cacophony. And with each obedient step you take, however small, you will grow in confidence that I am guiding every moment of your life and that you do not walk alone in the darkness. I will also grant you the gift of influence, not by the power of flowery speech, but by the transforming power that springs from your humble heart. When you give without expecting return, when you forgive without calculation, and when you serve without seeking honor, the spiritual power I have placed within you will shine forth, touching the most hardened hearts and igniting a flame of hope in those who have lost all strength. You will become a guiding light, not by title or office, but by the holiness and love of me that flows through your life. My child, have you noticed those you once strove to hold close now faltering by the wayside, no longer sharing your laughter? That is, my discernment at work, purifying connections that no longer serve you, lest you be dragged back into old besedge. Mire, I would rather let you feel lonely for a moment than let you sink forever in relationships that exhaust your soul. Yet in that moment of solitude, I am showing you the map to new companionship, fellow travelers who will press on with you, souls longing for truth, and brothers willing to share your burdens and joys. Believe that every step you slip through the storm, every time you use spiritual light to guide another, and every moment you stand firm in faith is proof of the power I have given you. You will come to see that your vision is not only to see what lies before you, but to glimpse the mysteries heaven is about to unveil for you. You will understand that your influence extends far beyond a narrow circle, touching lives that have grown parched for love and hope. I call you to live a different life, not to the hurried rhythm of the world, but to the gentle yet mighty heartbeat of my love. Be brave to part the vast seas by faith. Offer your life as a holy sacrifice, and allow me to use you as an instrument to accomplish a glorious work in the world. When greater influence, deeper relationships, keener discernment, and higher spiritual power become realities in you, it will be the very mark I have imprinted upon your soul, the mark of eternal love, of unending grace, and of the promise I make. To every child who will listen, obey, and trust. You shall not walk alone, for I am ever at your side, guiding you through every raging wave, causing you to walk on water with an undaunted heart and eyes shining with the fresh hope I grant you. When you answer that call, when you embrace the demand for separation, when you embrace wisdom and walk in power, you will become the living testimony of the magnificent work I am performing, a work that purifies you from dross to purity, that brings you beyond old boundaries and lifts you to new heights in my love and grace. Amen. As a child of God, He is always with you in every moment to remind you to live in His faith and trust. Press follow and turn on notifications so you will not miss the words I proclaim from heaven. Amen.